For ages, many have grown familiar with the image of the fire-tipped spear in his right hand, the universe ring in his left, the red armillary sash upon his shoulder, and the wind-fire wheels at his feet, the third prince, Ne Zha, a legendary figure. His righteousness, generosity, benevolence, and impartiality. His refusal to stand idly by in the face of injustice made this young heavenly general a prominent figure, admired by all. Yet, few know that before his deal, Ne Zha was once considered a demon, destined to be struck by heavenly lightning until his flesh was torn, his bones shattered, and his soul cast down to the cold underworld, never to be reincarnated. But how did such a fate come to be? Why did everyone hastily shun the mere sight of him? Ne Zha's journey in the investiture of the gods has become an unforgettable memory for generations of audiences. And if you desire a fresh perspective, then the two parts, Ne Zha, birth of the demon child, and Ne Zha, the devil wreaks havoc on the sea, are choices you cannot afford to miss. Today, with our love for the Everything You Need to Know series, let us journey together once more through the tale of Ne Zha's heaven-defying, fate-altering path, the one they call the Demon Orb. Legend tells that the spiritual energy of heaven and earth over 1,000 years gave birth to the Chaos Pearl. However, instead of cultivating its spirit, absorbing only the essence of the sun, moon, and celestial energy, it became too greedy, consuming everything in its path. Celestial and demonic energies intertwined. And indeed, this chaotic mixture caused its power to grow unceasingly. But it also rendered the Chaos Pearl itself unable to distinguish good from evil, acting on whims, quick to anger, and tyrannical, unable to stand by and watch the primordial Lord of Heaven, the supreme deity of Taoism, chief among the three pure ones, commanded his two disciples, immortal Tai Yi and Shen Gongbao, to subdue it. Everyone thought this would be the end of the Chaos Pearl. Little did they know it would become a scene of great laughter. You see, immortal Tai Yi, the deity revered by thousands, had a rather chubby, overweight appearance. But that mattered not, for prowess is not measured by appearance. With a horsetail whisk in hand, surely Tai Yi would accomplish great things. That is, until the Chaos Pearl transformed, growing to an immense size, and delivering a hammer-like blow to Tai Yi, sending him flying out of sight. Unlike his senior brother, Shen Gongbao was more hot-tempered and decisive. However, as mentioned, the Pearl had absorbed 1,000 years of spiritual energy from heaven and earth, so even though he possessed a lightning whip that could summon thunder, all of Shen Gongbao's magical power was absorbed and returned with interest. It was only when the primordial Lord of Heaven appeared, materializing the chaos cauldron from the void, and trapping the Pearl inside, that the matter was concluded. With his supreme power, the primordial Lord of Heaven split the Chaos Pearl into two distinct parts, the Spirit Pearl and the Demon Orb. However, the Demon Orb's primordial spirit was so resilient that the Lord had to place a heavenly curse upon it, destining it to be destroyed by heavenly lightning in 3 years. As for the Spirit Pearl, he entrusted the solemn duty to Tai Yi to take it to the mortal realm, to be reincarnated as the third son of Li Jing, a man who bore a heavenly mandate. After the Spirit Pearl's incarnation, he would be called Ne Zha, and would be nurtured into a hero by immortal Tai Yi. If the mission succeeded, Tai Yi would be promoted to the final position among the 12 golden immortals. Hearing this, Shen Gongbao couldn't help but feel resentful and envious, but the Lord's will was decided and could not be defied, so he could only watch grudgingly as his senior brother rode his flying pig down to the mortal realm, carrying the 7-colored lotus, which contained the Spirit Pearl and the Demon Orb, to Chentang Pass. It can be said that the encounter with immortal Tai Yi completely changed the lives of Li Jing and Lady Yin, because Lady Li had been pregnant for over 3 years, and the child had yet to be born, causing the couple great distress. The people of Chentang Pass gathered at the Li household to congratulate them, saying this was a blessing not everyone was granted. That when the third prince was born, they were ready to devote themselves to raising him into a great man. From a distance, Shen Gongbao witnessed it all. He released 2 command talismans, placing them on the steward and the midwife of the house to harass the immortal, causing him to lose focus when the auspicious hour arrived. With his hearty nature, the moment he saw a jug of wine placed before him, Tai Yi completely forgot his mission and drank heartily, then fell into a deep sleep as if dead. What Shen Gongbao didn't anticipate was that the 7-colored lotus had been enchanted by the Lord, making it impossible for anyone but Tai Yi to open it. In modern terms, only Tai Yi knew the password to unlock the Spirit Pearl when needed. To make it in time, Li Jing had to resort to punching and kicking to force the wine out of Tai Yi's stomach. The violent method proved effective. After stretching and waking up, Tai Yi hurriedly went to open the lotus, because in the other room, Lady Yin was in labor, about to give birth. When the sacred artifact opened, the steward and the midwife, under the control of the command talismans, joined forces to steal the two orbs, to the astonishment of Tai Yi and Li Jing. Shen Gongbo immediately unleashed his power, causing the Demon Orb to be born as Ne Zha, while he himself took the spirit pearl and flew to the Dragon Palace. From inside the house, terrified servants brought out before Li Jing a round ball of flesh with a red mark on top. It opened its eyes and transformed into a fireball, attacking everyone around. Even Tai Yi was no match for it. Soon, the ball of flesh grew limbs, horrifying everyone. With no other choice, Momoro Tai Yi brought out the golden circlet and chanted an incantation, thereby sealing and suppressing the Demon Orb's power. As the Demon Orb struggled, Tai Yi intended to strike it dead with his whisk. Lady Yin rushed forward to stop him. The child is innocent. Lady Yin pleaded with immortal Tai Yi not to harm her child. Lady Yin's gentleness calmed the Demon Orb. Witnessing this scene, Li Jing bowed respectfully, asking the people of Chentang Pass to show mercy and spare the child. He vowed to raise Ne Zha diligently, to guide him away from the path of evil and towards a path of righteousness, even if it meant sacrificing his own life. However, the heavenly curse cast by the Lord was no joke. In exactly 3 years, heavenly lightning would descend and take Ne Zha's life with a thunderous axe, leaving Lady Yin stunned. To salvage the situation, Li Jing asked Tai Yi to accompany him to see the primordial Lord of Heaven, hoping the Lord would show mercy and retract the curse. As for Shen Gongbao, after bringing the Spirit Pearl to the Dragon Palace, he presented the orb to the Dragon King of the East Sea, Ao Guang. From it, Ao Bing was born, and to ensure his son received the best education, the Dragon King entrusted the boy to Shen Gongbao's tutelage, hoping he would guide him to achieve great deeds and establish a legacy, ascending to the heavens in the investiture of the gods. If this succeeded, not only would the Dragon Clan escape the confines of the deep sea, would prove to the Lord that he was the more suitable choice for the position of the 12 golden immortals, returning to immortal Tai Yi and Li Jing. At the Gate of Void, both were stunned when the longevity cloud informed them that the primordial Lord of Heaven had entered seclusion with the celestial Lord of spiritual treasures and the celestial Lord of Tao and virtue to compile the investiture of the gods. And as for the heavenly curse, there was essentially no way to undo it. So even if they met the Lord, it was feared he would be powerless to help. Hearing this, Li Jing collapsed in despair. Moved by this paternal love, the longevity cloud revealed that while the heavenly curse could not be broken, they could use the flower grafting art to swap the victim, as long as Li Jing found a relative who shared Ne Zha's bloodline and was willing to sacrifice themselves for him. When the heavenly lightning descended, by giving the remaining talisman to Ne Zha, the lightning would strike and kill that person instead. In other words, Li Jing accepted to use his own body to save his unruly son. In return, he would spend his last 2 years guiding Ne Zha back to the righteous path. However, the Demon Orb was stubborn. It was feared he would not listen, and would instead bring disaster upon the people. So these 2 years would be decisive for Ne Zha's fate. It would be a long time before Ne Zha learned this shocking secret. For now, the boy was gradually becoming the terror of the people of Chentang Pass. A day in the heavens is like a long year in the mortal realm. Coupled with the power of the Demon Orb, Ne Zha grew as fast as the wind. Yet, he didn't understand why. Everyone hated and feared him. At the mere sight of Ne Zha, everyone would find a place to hide. They believed that years ago, Lady Yin should have let Tai Yi kill the boy, for even Lady Yin couldn't stop him from causing trouble. The children in the town, whenever they had the chance, would devise schemes to teach Ne Zha a lesson. They called him a monster, along with many other malicious words. This only made Ne Zha angrier. But they couldn't keep him locked up in the house forever. Ne Zha's temperament was fiery, violent, and unable to distinguish right from wrong, only wanting to do as he pleased. So despite trying to get along, no one could befriend Ne Zha, leaving him utterly lonely. To Ne Zha, life outside was something very foreign. Even though it was right before his eyes, he didn't understand why everyone was afraid of him. Couldn't comprehend why. Everyone called him a monster. Ne Zha was aware of his superior strength, but didn't understand its origin. Even at his happiest, when playing shuttlecock with his mother, something melancholic lingered in his heart. The days felt like years. A child couldn't endure such loneliness and sorrow. Lady Yin had no other choice but to order the barrier beast to guard diligently, allowing Ne Zha to go out and cause trouble in her absence. Returning home, Li Jing and Tai Yi kept the secret of the swapping talisman from everyone. At the same time, Li Jing didn't want Ne Zha to remain as naive as a child, so he planned for the boy to become immortal Tai Yi's disciple, hoping that one day, the world would have a more favorable view of him. With a map of the mountains, rivers, and society, a treasure that could transport people to another world, immortal Tai Yi planned to impart his magical powers to Ne Zha. With the brush that commands the landscape, he could freely build and embellish various landscapes, turning it into an ideal training ground. However, Ne Zha was a mischievous and disobedient child. So as soon as the initial joy and excitement passed, he began to cause trouble. But Tai Yi would not let this little rascal get away with such nonsense. He taught the boy the art of illusion, transforming myriads of things into the unimaginable. Yet, Ne Zha was not satisfied. He said this art was too simple. Why not learn something more advanced, like the art of transformation, which made Tai Yi burst out laughing. He said even he wasn't proficient in something so complex, let alone a child. No wonder, after teaching the incantation for the art of illusion to Ne Zha, he casually laid down with his feet up, reading a book, and fell asleep without realizing it. When he woke up, Tai Yi was painfully tricked by Ne Zha, who had taken the form of Lady Li. Who would have thought that this naive child possessed such extraordinary abilities, a prodigy seen only once in 1,000 years? However, just as everyone feared, Ne Zha had no intention of becoming a disciple and learning celestial arts and bring blessings to the people, because, as mentioned, no one in the world respected him. So why should he, though saving the common folk? It was too much trouble. Just then, Li Jing spoke up. He said Ne Zha was the reincarnation of the Spirit Pearl, which was why he had unusual powers. Seeing this as a good opportunity, Tai Yi added that the Spirit Pearl was a secret weapon of the primordial Lord of Heaven, to later bear the responsibility of acting on behalf of Heaven. Therefore, it could not be revealed to outsiders. This made Ne Zha believe it even more. Heaven's secrets must not be revealed. This could be considered a good opportunity for Ne Zha to cultivate his mind and character, using his divine power to eliminate demons for the people. 2 long years passed as quickly as the wind. Under the guidance of immortal Tai Yi, Ne Zha fully revealed his abilities, relying on the red armillary sash and the fire-tipped spear. He has illy passed every test. However, doing well is not necessarily doing right, because Ne Zha fought with excessive brutality. Every time he wielded his spear, houses were shattered and lives were lost. So no matter how many celestial arts he mastered, he was still reprimanded by his father and master. They even confiscated his magical artifacts and forbade him from going out. In this world, few could rival Ne Zha. If he wasn't allowed to go out, he would just run away. With the brush that commands the landscape in hand, Ne Zha left Li Jing and Tai Yi trapped in the map, with helpless gazes. If fate wills it, we shall meet again across 1,000 miles. No matter how vast the heavens and seas, if destined, they will meet. That saying was perhaps not wrong for Ne Zha and Ao Bing, because as soon as he escaped the map, Ne Zha encountered a sea yuck that had just emerged from the depths of the sea. It planned to sneak into a small fishing village, to feast on livestock for a change of meal. But it seems this sea yuck left without consulting the almanac. It never expected to run into Ne Zha here. It was a heaven-sent opportunity to show his skills. Ne Zha beat the monster to a pulp. However, he hit too hard. Not only did he terrify the monster, but he also destroyed the houses of the fishing villages, to their astonishment. Ne Zha couldn't be bothered. To him, the result was more important than the method, so what was a little collateral damage? Everything changed. After the sea, Taksha kidnapped a toddling baby girl. Only then did Ne Zha realize he couldn't use his powers recklessly. Suddenly, from nowhere, Ao Bing appeared, leaving the monster with no escape. If Ne Zha and Ao Bing had worked together, they could have defeated the monster with a snap of their fingers. But if that were the case, it wouldn't be Ne Zha. He attacked Ao Bing, believing Ao Bing was getting in his way. During the intense battle, the Yuxa spat out a series of bubbles, and just a single touch was enough to turn Ne Zha's left arm to stone. However, that was nothing compared to the fluid movements and miraculous footwork that Ao Bing had mastered. As soon as he got close, he struck the monster a blow, forcing it to spit out the little girl who was already in its belly. Not just the baby, but Ao Bing himself was turned to stone when he was hit by the monster's saliva, and so we have a scene that is both violent and humorous, with Ne Zha using Ao Bing's petrified body as a weapon to beat the Yuxa to a pulp, forcing it to reveal the antidote, which was the monster's snot. Truly This antidote could be either ingested or applied to the body, partly due to his haste, and partly because the Yaksha didn't explain clearly. Ne Zha swallowed it in one gulp. Only when the monster stammered an explanation of how to use it did he feel disgusted by the slimy, garlic-flavored thing he had just put in his stomach. No fight, no friendship. Soon, Ao Bing and Ne Zha became sworn bros. And in the twilight of the setting sun, for the first time, Ne Zha had the chance to show off his shuttlecock skills with a friend. This moved him to tears. Ao Bing also gave his friend a seashell, with the promise that whenever Ne Zha called, Ao Bing would come. Hearing the approaching villagers, Ao Bing quickly vanished, feeling proud of himself, thinking he had vanquished a demon and helped the people. Ne Zha was surprised to find himself scorned by the villagers. It was all because no one had clearly seen the sea Yaksha kidnap the baby, but had only seen Ne Zha full of killing intent, destroying everything around him. The misunderstanding quickly escalated into a conflict. Some pushed, others shoved, causing Ne Zha to lose all restraint. It's hard to say, but we can understand that with a temper as hot as fire and being wrongly accused, how Ne Zha lost control. Just then, immortal Tai Yi and Li Jing's couple arrived, which only fueled the people's resentment. They said it was time for Li Jing to choose either his son or the safety of the people of Chentang Pass. That Li Jing must lock up his son and never let Ne Zha roam outside again. Returning to Ao Bing, after partying with Ne Zha, he returned to the Dragon Palace. He angered Shen Dongbao by revealing that he had befriended a stranger. It was all because if Ao Bing's Dragon Clan origins were exposed, it would affect the fate of his entire clan, especially when that person was Ne Zha, the reincarnation of the Demon Orb. A long, long time ago, thousands of years before, after submitting to the Heavenly Court to prove their loyalty. The Dragon Clan suppressed countless demons under the sea, yet they were not respected by the Heavenly Court, even as the chief of all scaled creatures, with the power to shake heaven and earth since ancient times. The Dragon Clan was essentially still just a beast clan. The Dragon King of the East, she told Ao Bing with bitterness that the so-called Dragon Palace was actually a celestial prison, created to imprison the thousands, tens of thousands of demons they had defeated, and their duty was to stay here and guard, day in and day out. Cause if the Dragon Clan ever left, the suppressing power would vanish, leading to a cataclysmic disaster. Similar to the Dragon King of the East Sea, Shen Dongbao also had his own unspoken grievances. Originally a leopard who cultivated into human form, he was accepted as a disciple by the primordial Lord of Heaven. He had always been diligent, practicing hard without fearing hardship. Yet in the eyes of the Lord, Shen Dongbao was never recognized, all because of his beastly origins, which made him looked down upon by his senior brothers in the sect. It can be said that prejudice is like a giant mountain, difficult to change. So the Dragon King of the East Sea and Shen Dongbao, though different in species, shared the same fate and the same resentment. They were determined to steal the Spirit Pearl, and Ao Bing became the hope not only for the Dragon Clan, but also for Shen Dongbao in achieving great deeds and ascending to the heavens later on. Enduring the pain, the entire Dragon Clan used their claws to pry off their scales, forging the myriad dragon armor to clad Ao Bing. In other words, this armor represented the hope of the entire clan, placed upon Ao Bing's shoulders in the quest to destroy the Demon Orb. As for Ne Zha, to soothe his frustration, his parents promised to throw him a birthday party with the attendance of all the people of Chentang Pass to clear his name. Though he didn't show it on the outside, Ne Zha was overjoyed. He ran to the seashore to call Ao Bing, inviting his friend to the party, unaware that a great disaster was about to befall them both. Finally, Ne Zha's birthday arrived. To clear his son's name, Li Jing captured the sea Yuxa and locked it up, waiting for the right moment to bring it before the people of Chentang Pass. Everyone was busy preparing. Unaware of that, Shen Dongbao took the opportunity to approach Ne Zha, revealing the true identity of the Demon Orb. Only that, the very thing that sealed Ne Zha's power, the birthday gifts that Tai Yi had for Ne Zha were not few. Besides the fire-tipped spear and the red armillary sash, he also entrusted the flying pig to the boy, allowing it to transform into the wind-fire wheels, enabling Ne Zha to fly at will. They were unaware of the seething anger in Ne Zha's heart, only when he said he already knew the truth and chanted the incantation to break the universe ring. Did everyone panic? Amidst the blazing fire that lit up the sky, the Demon Orb revealed its true form. It lunged forward to attack innocent people, forcing Li Jing and Tai Yi to intervene and suppress it. But partly because the demonic energy was too strong, and partly because Ne Zha possessed many powerful artifacts, the battle was unbalanced. Faced with this situation, Ao Bing pleaded with his master, and against all advice, rushed down to help. Thanks to him, the tide of the battle turned. The Demon Orb was once again suppressed by the universe ring, reverting to the form of Ne Zha. They couldn't keep a child who was so disillusioned with the world. But before Li Jing, there was a more important matter to attend to. So instead of chasing after Ne Zha, he turned to Ao Bing and questioned him. About to leave in silence, Ao Bing jumped in fright when his cloak was stripped away, revealing his Dragon Clan origins. Only that, Tai also recognized the Spirit Pearl symbol on Ao Bing's forehead, further confirming the Dragon King's ambition. If that was the case, there was no other choice. Ao Bing had to kill off the people of Chentang Pass to silence them. Just then, the secret that Li Jing's family had hidden from Ne Zha for years was revealed by the flying pig, hidden in the lucky charm pouch his father gave him. NeZha found the swapping talisman bestowed by the longevity cloud. Finally, after all these years, NeZha understood his parents' hearts. Stomping hard on the windfire wheels, he turned back to a fierce battle at Chentong Pass. The battlefield now included not only Ao Bing, but Shen Gongbao had also joined the fray. On the other side of the battle, NeZha and immortal Tai Yi fought back with all their might against the ferocious attacks from the enemy. All the essence of martial arts was continuously displayed by both sides. The magical artifacts also had a chance to show their full power. NeZha, with his mischievous and somewhat cunning personality, used the art of transformation to trick Ao Bing by taking Gongbao's form in the chaos, and trapped him in the map of the mountains, rivers, and society. And a few minutes later, Tai Yi, Gongbao, and Ao Bing were all pulled inside. All four of them fought to get the brush that commanded the landscape to escape. Finally, to counter Ao Bing, NeZha released a portion of the Demon Orb's power, thereby deciding the victor in the earth-shattering battle at Chentong Pass. At this point, the heavens and earth shook. The universe spun, signaling that the time of the heavenly curse had come. Kneeling to bid farewell to his parents, NeZha was sucked into a giant black hole in the sky. Just then, Ao Bing rushed in to help, using the myriad dragon armor to bear the brunt of the lightning. Everyone thought the two children would be torn to shreds, but the primordial spirits of the Spirit Pearl and the Demon Orb, having absorbed spiritual energy, when they merged, not only could they hold on, but they also deflected the lightning back towards the heavens. Seizing the opportunity, immortal Tai Yi threw out the seven-color lotus to assist. Though it couldn't guarantee their bodies would remain intact, their souls were preserved and not dissipated. Witnessing this scene, Li Jing and his wife were filled with a mix of joy and sorrow, and the people of Chentang Pass accordingly knelt in reverence. Fate may be predetermined, but how we face it is what defines who we are in this life. To be reborn, NeZha and Ao Bing would need no small amount of effort, relying on the celestial energy of the seven-colored lotus, with hundreds of lotus roots hidden in the mud, waiting to be harvested. However, the process of kneading the lotus paste was a nightmare. One person blew their nose, another scratched their face, making NeZha and Ao Bing's faces turn pale with disgust. Once done, the flying pig showed off its talent for recreating bodies, like a designer, constantly being asked by a client to revise a design back and forth. The flying pig was also at its wit's end with the demands of Li Jing's family, and so, after countless changes, in the end, they still chose NeZha's original form to create the body. Once done, Tai Yi used water to temper Ao Bing and fire to forge NeZha, making their bodies strong and their forms stable. Yet, just as the work was about to be completed, the soldier ran in with grim news. Shen Gongbao was approaching with murderous intent. After Ao Bing's failure, the Dragon King of the East Sea was heartbroken over his son's death. He became even more enraged when his three brothers, including the Dragon King of the West Sea, the Dragon King of the North Sea, and the Dragon King of the South Sea, with a sweet tongue as sharp as a knife, the Dragon King of the West Sea broke off a claw and gave it to Shen Gongbao. You see, in her life, she possessed a unique weapon called the Void-Splitting Claw. With just a light slash through the air, it could create a portal, allowing for instantaneous teleportation. Knowing her elder brother was grieving for his son, she goaded him, saying it was time to avenge her nephew. Unfortunately, the Dragon Clan and the Sea Beasts were all bound by the universe-trapping Dragon Lock, which shackled and suppressed them. So the Void-Splitting Claw was an opportunity to both wipe out the people of Chentong Pass and not have to fear being punished by the Heavenly Court for rebellion. Tens of thousands of beasts tear through space and emerge. Li Jing and his wife were utterly astonished. Humans could not contend with the power of ancient monsters. The warships were attacked by giant sentient turtle bugs, and the soldiers were slaughtered by the swarming beasts. Despite their best efforts, human strength was limited. Li Jing and Lady Yin could not make a difference. Just then, Shen Gongbao saw the barrier and rushed to inspect it. Knowing his master's great ambition, Ao Bing quickly pleaded with him. However, Gongbao turned a deaf ear. With the power of the three Dragon Kings, an extremely powerful blast of energy shot towards NeZha, and if Ao Bing hadn't jumped in time and created an ice shield to block it, it is feared NeZha would not have survived. The horrific explosion was felt all the way to the Dragon Palace. At the same time, the barrier dissipated, revealing Ao Bing's scent, which stunned the Dragon King of the East Sea. He quickly sent out his spirit to the scene, but it was too late. A newly formed body could not withstand such a powerful attack, so Ao Bing's body gradually turned to dust. The seven-colored lotus had run out of celestial energy. Force 2, the soul of Ao Bing had to enter NeZha to take refuge. Originally, they were both split from the Chaos Pearl, so they could live together for 7 days in one body. However, this was only a temporary solution. It is said that in the treasury of the Jade Void Palace, there is a magical artifact. It has the effect of restoring the power of magical artifacts. Shen Gongbao quickly proposed a plan. As long as NeZha passed the Heavenly Ascension exam, he would be granted a magical artifact as a reward. From there, they could rightfully use the Jade Nectar to restore the seven-colored lotus and recreate Ao Bing's body. If this succeeded, not only would the Dragon Clan's involvement be kept secret, it was truly killing two birds with one stone. Seeing the logic in this, the Dragon King of the East Sea ordered Shen Gongbao and the horde of beasts to guard Chentang Pass diligently. However, two souls in one body created many problems. It was impossible to control, let alone use magical powers. Size, Ne Zha's fiery temper, and overwhelming demonic energy made it feared that the plan would be exposed before it could succeed. So Tai gave Ne Zha a vial of medicine called slumbering haze. As long as he was in a deep sleep, Ao Bing would have complete control of the body, with the immediate problem solved. The master and disciple rode the flying pig straight to Kunlun Mountain, passing through the clouds to reach the Jade Void Palace, where the primordial cauldron, the treasure of the Chan school, was placed in the center. Here, we need to pause for a moment to talk about this place. Currently, the primordial Lord of Heaven was in seclusion to compile the investiture of the gods. So, for the time being, the Jade Void Palace was managed by the infinite immortal Elder to suppress and quell the demons throughout the mortal realm. The Chan school also had a demon subduing squad, personally selected by the infinite immortal Elder under the command of Dear Boy, the immortal Elder's eldest disciple. The demon subduing squad fought everywhere, capturing many demons and bringing them back to the Void Palace. Then, day after day, they would preach to them to abandon their demonic nature. Crane Boy, another of the immortal Elder's disciples, was tasked with assisting his master in managing affairs within the Jade Void Palace that built a system to filter the bones of Kunlun Mountain, a substance considered a great tonic for cultivation. However, while needing to relieve himself, so later, even though the immortal Elder enthusiastically invited them, Ne Zha had to grudgingly pass on the great tonic to ascend to the heavens. One had to pass an exam, facing 3 types of beasts from all over the world. As grand as it sounds, the first opponent was actually a group of rather weak, sentient ground. As long as they followed the plan, Ne Zha would take the sleeping potion, few in the world would be his match. However, repeated use of the sleeping potion led to tolerance. One pill was not enough to put Ne Zha into a deep rest, unfortunately knocked away by the monsters. Every time Ne Zha reverted to his original form, he would be soundly beaten by the little demons. Only when a large rock smashed into his head and knocked him out, Bing seized the opportunity to unleash his full power. The matter was resolved. That night was the night of the 6-star alignment, which only happens once every 15 years when the 6 brightest stars golden immortals from all 4 corners use the white jade platform. To me, the Great War of Deification was extremely urgent. Both the Chan and G schools busy devising strategies to defeat the other. The disciples of the G school, ignorant and inferior, brutish barbarians, a gathering of many low-level animals. They could not be underestimated for that reason. They needed to increase their strength, receiving spiritual pills to distribute to the few minutes left before the end. So the immortals agreed to let Jinza and Musa, Li Jing's eldest sons, meet their younger brother. This horrified Ne Zha. He was afraid that his ugly appearance would upset his 2 brothers. In his confusion, he asked Ao Bing to help him out and was moved by his brother's kindness. If so, he had to prove himself even more, to vanquish demons and pass the exam to become a hero. And that was the moment the story took a turn, when mistakes piled on mistakes, and misunderstandings became as tangled as a web. You see, Shen Gongbao's younger brother had somehow made his way to Chentong Pass to find his brother. The younger brother proudly boasted that, since the day Gongbao entered the Jade Void Palace, their father, Shen Jian, was as if he had taken a great tonic, happy and full of energy every day. Beasts from all over the region flocked to him for two, which made Xiao Bao even prouder of his brother. Facing his younger brother, Shen Gongbao dared not speak the truth of what was happening at Chentong Pass, to help him guard the border and prevent demonic attacks. Li Jing's righteous act moved Shen Gongbao. However, Li Jing said he did it for Xiao because a good role model can change the destiny of many people. From this point on, the relationship between the two sides became less tense. Appeared again with shocking news. In the second exam, the infinite immortal elder to defeat Shen Zhengdao and his disciples. With Ao Bing's skills, Zheng, despite his high magical power, was no match. In his desperation, he swung his sword and cut off his left arm and ordered his disciples to lay down their weapons. Were present in response to his righteousness and devotion to cultivation. Dear Boy ordered the arrest of all the little demon spirits. This angered Xiao Bao, who had just returned, and he lunged at the demon subduing squad to protect his father. And if Shen Gengdao had not rushed to shield him, the arrow shot by Dear Boy would have likely taken Xiao Bu's life. In the end, against Ao Bing's protests, only Xiao Bao managed to escape, while Shen Gongbao's father breathed his last. Hearing this news, Shen Gongbao's blood boiled with rage, and so, upon returning to the Jade Void Palace, Immortal Tai and Ne Zha received news. Based on the remaining traces, Dear Boy realized the Dragon Clan was the culprit behind the attack. The infinite immortal elder also decided to act first and report later, because this crime was beyond imagination, an unforgivable act in the eyes of heaven and earth. As for Ne Zha, he bit his lip until it bled and flew straight to Skull Mountain. All just to obtain the Jade Nectar to restore Ao Bing's body. Then they would go their separate ways with no debts between them. Ne Zha could freely attack the Dragon King of the EC without any burden on his heart, though he desperately wanted to follow Ne Zha and reason with him, and even find his father and master to get to the bottom of things. Ao Bing was stopped by Immortal Tai Yi. Just then, the Sea Yuksha emerged from the ground, and everything became clear. Back at the Dragon Palace, the infinite immortal Elder ordered tens of thousands of celestial soldiers from the demon subduing squad to surround. Before the helpless eyes of the Dragon King of the East Sea, hurrying back to question his three brothers, who had now vanished without a trace. Seizing the opportunity while the Dragon King of the East Sea was busy dealing with Deer Boy and Crane Boy, tens of thousands of beasts at the instigation of the Dragon King of the West Sea rose up in rebellion. The battlefield was split in two. At the bottom of the deep sea, the Dragon Clan fought for their lives against a horde of beasts, and in the sky above, the Dragon King of the East Sea also struggled to withstand the attacks from the Immortals. Just then, NeZha struck, sending the Dragon King of the East Sea falling straight into the primordial cauldron, and the infinite immortal Elder accordingly sealed the cauldron. Just then, Li Jing, Lady Yin, Ao Bing, and Immortal Tai Yi arrived and explained the whole situation, rewinding to half a day earlier, when Shen Gongbao received information from the heavens. The infinite immortal Elder appeared, startling Gung. The Dragon King of the East Sea's three brothers took the opportunity to rebel. They said the immortal Elder's power was immense, and if he bestowed that blessing, they would willingly serve him like cattle for the rest of their lives. It was only because their elder brother forced them that things had come to this, so this was a golden opportunity to free themselves. Seeing it as not a bad idea, the infinite immortal Elder broke the shackles, allowing the three Dragon Kings to summon tens of thousands of beasts to slaughter the people of Chentang Pass. If the Lord were to investigate later, the immortal Elder could just blame the Dragon King of the East Sea, fabricating a story about having recruited the other three Dragon Kings and extracting the truth about the Spirit Pearl and the Demon Orb. However, this seemingly perfect plan was foiled by Shen Gongbao. Using the Sea Yux's saliva, he petrified Li Jing and his wife, and single-handedly faced hundreds of thousands of enemies and had been missing ever since. Furthermore, the shocking secret about the spiritual pills was also revealed. It turned out that after the beasts were captured by the demon subduing squad, they were all put into the primordial cauldron and refined into celestial pills. Besides the three Dragon Kings who escaped using the void-splitting claw, all the beasts under the sea, and the Dragon Clan. This act could be said to go against the principles of the Lord, an act that heaven and earth could hardly forgive. However, the infinite immortal Elder felt no shame or remorse. It was all for the cause of the Chan School and the Great War. The enemy this time was too strong, so despite their best efforts, NeZha, Ao Bing, and Tai Yi were defeated using a heart-piercing curse. The immortal Elder immobilized NeZha and Ao Bing. Tai Yi, Li Jing, and Lady Yin were also bound. All four were thrown into the primordial cauldron. Exhausted, Lady Yin embraced NeZha, and with her last breath, transformed into a spiritual pill. The immense pain caused NeZha to erupt in a fit of rage. His body shattered. And then under the influence of the Samadhi true fire, the divine fire within, the primordial cauldron, NeZha's body was clinging tightly to the sea. They summoned all their strength to break the primordial way out, to the astonishment of the infinite immortal Elder, and so the demon subduing squad. Mortal realm witnessed an earth-shattering battle, as tens of thousands of beasts faced off against the immortal Elder's secrets did not end there. Crane Boy and Deer Boy, his two disciples, turned out to be beasts in disguise as well, and the infinite immortal Elder was beaten dizzy by NeZha and Ao Bing. It was a miracle rarely seen in the world, when a motley army of both the Dragon Clan and beasts could repel tens of thousands of celestial soldiers back to the heavens. But the war ahead was still long. Instead of returning to the Dragon Palace, Bing decided to stay with NeZha to face the upcoming challenges together. As for Shen Gongbao, he was locked in the great prison of the Jade Void Palace, with the intention of wiping out all traces before the Lord emerged from seclusion. It is unknown what the infinite immortal Elder plans to do next. Two NeZha films contain many profound philosophies about those who do not bow to heaven's will, who dare to stand up against the deep-seated prejudices in society. Prejudice is not truth, but how heaven's will can be arranged is what sculpts our true selves. What will become of the fates of NeZha, Ao Bing, Shen Gongbao, and the Dragon Clan? Perhaps we will have to wait until the third part is find out. What will become of the fates of NeZha, Ao Bing, Shen Gongbao, and the Dragon Clan? Perhaps we will have to wait until the third part is released to find out. That brings us to the end. We highly recommend you watch the original film to enjoy it to the fullest. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting videos to come. Or let us know which movie you'd like us to review next.